this support. So this trade is a very risky trade because in a way we're just ranging here, right? So this is a very risky trade. We're going to go over some examples which are risky and less risky. So this goes into a very risky trade. Let's see what happens next. Still ranging, and then you had like a little bit of a fake out, but eventually we started to move up. Always look to the top left corner. Yeah, exactly. So let's go through what happened when these candles started to move up. Okay. So you waited here for this candle to form. You waited here for this candle to form. So this candle broke out here, right? This candle broke out. So now essentially what you had to do is you had to wait for this candle to form some sort of a resistance to move further down. But what happened? This candle closed back in the range. So now there was still no trade. And then you had this candle form with a wick, which is still no trade. And then you had this bullish candle, which moved above all the candles to the left, right? So your trade would have been on this candle, after this candle, because you wanted to wait for a rejection. But either way, in this consolidation, this was very hard to gauge what's going to happen, right? Very, very hard to gauge. This is where most people, take losses. Oh, what's this? That makes sense. Yeah, so this is where most of your losses are going to come from, because price is going to start to range, and you will start to take buys, you will start to take sells, you will start to see things that don't exist, and at the end of the day, you're going to end up with like a large chunk of your account going to the market, right? And then you can't call the market, say, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't want to take this trade. So this happens. So when you have resistance formed and you have support formed, it's very important that you just wait, or you just stay away. Because sometimes, some days, what's going to happen is the price is just going to range. Price is just going to range, and if you're trading, let's say you're JPY and price is ranging, and there's no trade. It's just waiting. You're waiting and waiting and waiting. I think that happened on Thursday too. We were in your JPY buys, and price is just ranging for so long. I just exited our positions because it reached our comfortability level that, okay, we could not hold it anymore. All right. What candles reach support? Okay, so this was supposed to be what happens when candles reach support or resistance. Okay, how do you know if it's an easy day or a hard day, or is it easy to spot on candles? Yeah, so we're going to go on some examples here. So your question is going to be answered. We're gonna ask questions at the very end, because most of your questions are going to be answered. All right, what happens when price is trending bearish or bullish, right? What happens? So you come to the charts and you see that you have bearish candles forming, and these bearish candles are moving down, right? You have big bearish candles moving down, and to the left-hand side, you see some sort of a support here, and you have bearish candles moving down, right? So what do? Normally, what you would do is that you would say, okay, you know what? Since we have bearish candles forming and there's a 4-hour support, so we're going to try to take a buy here, right? So this is a very bad idea, because all the candles are going against you. Your idea is correct that you're trying to take a buy on support, but then you have to realize that all candles are going against you. They're all bearish candles. There's not a bullish candle in sight. So you always have to wait for candles to at least turn bullish, so that then you can say, okay, you know what, maybe now we have found support, so the probability of it rejecting is higher, because on the 1 hour and the 30-minute we have found support. So there's a high probability that now we're going to start to move up and maybe retest the level that was broken, or whatever the case is. But once price is moving down and you see that the destination of support is close by, just wait. Just wait for price to reach that area, and then wait for price to form some sort of a support on the 30-minute or the 1 hour time frame to see that, okay, now we are forming some sort of a rejection to continue in the opposite direction. So now that's going to be a counter trend trade, but you have to understand that smaller time frames, they create the overall higher time frame, right? And the same case is when you have candles moving bullish, you have larger candles moving up, and then they're reaching some sort of a resistance. So we're going to use the same support as resistance there. We're reaching resistance and you're trying to sell. A lot of people do this, like on Wednesday.